initials HS from Ontario, Canada. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh Mufti. How does a layman determine who to take knowledge from and who to stay away from?
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Stick with the people that you trust. There is a brother that you know and that you trust. You go to him and says, what scholar should I learn from? Who should I learn from? Who would you recommend me to? The person that he tells you, stick with them. Now, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, you start off learning the basics, being spoon-fed. But as you develop and grow, just like a baby, there's certain things that you don't need. You don't have to ask about. Certain things you can do whatever you want to do once you have enough strength, enough speed, and enough what? Balance. Child has to be carried, has to be picked up, has to be put down. Child can't sit up by himself. His back, its neck. But as a child drinks milk, grows stronger, reflexes, motor skills, then the child can sit up and pull himself up or pull herself up and crawl and walk and then jump. And then a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, a 5-year-old, they can do all types of things. You take your eye off them 1 second and they're gone. That. The same is applicable to what? Knowledge. Unfortunately, we live in a time today in which there are two sets of zealots. The first group are those who say that seeking ilm is like being a baby. And you should remain like a baby for the rest of your life. Ask the sheikh the question. Take this basic, simple book that's been explained 20 times and keep studying that one book over and over and over and over again. Don't study anything else. So much so, waliyadhu billah, is the, like Ibn Abdul Wahhab rahimahullah ta'ala says, the repulsiveness of jahl, aqbah al-jahl, the concept of a person to say that our communities in America are not ready to learn the fiqh of tahara and the fiqh of hayd. He says our communities aren't ready for these things. This Juwayhil said this. I can mention his name right now, but we won't. He says that our communities aren't ready to study these things. Right now, the only thing our communities are ready to study is Aqidah and Manhaj. That's it. But don't teach women with regards to menstruation every month. They're not ready for that. What is this? So we have the concept of this one book. The Sheikh is going to explain it again. And another, and a third, and a fifth, and a sixth. 20, 25 years, we're still stuck on this what? This one book, and nothing else is important to study. We have this concept of raising a baby. You go overseas? No, don't pick up that book. Don't go into that issue. Don't ask this question. Don't try to do your own personal research. You want to be a baby for the rest of their lives and force it upon the rest of the people. And we have another group of zealots, extremists, who come and they say from day one, be a mujtahid. You don't need this. You don't need a teacher. You don't need no scholar. You don't need any basic books. Just pick up the book, debate, argue, be independent, mujtahid from day one. That's wrong. Both of them are wrong. Start off as a baby, being spoon-fed, basic, simple things, avoid problematic issues, and as you grow, as you mature, as you memorize, as you grow older, you've been overseas for some years, you have to become independent. You have to take off the training wheels, just like a what? A baby. A baby can't pick out what it wants to pick out from day one. But eventually, what? It has to. And if it doesn't, then there's serious lack of what? Development in that baby's body and mind. And the same applies to your what? Your deen. So when it comes to ijtihad and taqleed, when it comes to who you can and who you cannot take from, just make a comparison to a baby. A 2-year-old, 2.5-year-old, someone who starts eating table food. If you gave them some fish, what type of fish would you give the 2-year-old child? Would you give them a whole fish, a roasted tilapia, grilled tilapia, with the head and the tail and the bones and the eyes? You wouldn't do that. You would take a piece and put it in the child's mouth. Give him something mushy to put in his mouth and make a mess. But a 6-year-old, an 8-year-old child is what? Different story. You teach them how to clean the fish, how to take the bones out. It's a different story. Everybody understand this? A fillet of fish is not like a whole fish. But you have a 10-year-old child who still says, Abby, can you take the bones out for me? 15-year-old child says, I can only eat fillet. That's the only thing I can eat. Something seriously what? Seriously wrong. And the same applies to ilm. Wallahu alam. When you get independent, you have enough knowledge, you pick and you study with what? Who you want to. Wallahu alam.